Do you want to learn the top 10 commandments of advertising? Great! Today I'm going to teach you what they are. I'm Maverick, the marketing consultant. Hi, I'm Maverick. I've been a marketing consultant for a lot of companies in the Fortune 500 for over a decade or so. I'd like to teach you everything I know with absolutely no sales pitches. So today we're talking about the top 10 commandments of advertising. Not written by me. Oh no, my ego's not that big. No. These are rules of advertising written by the man himself, the man, the myth, the legend, David Ogilvy, who what many consider to be the father of advertising. At the very least, the father of modern advertising. This guy was great. Wrote 2 books. Every ad man, every marketing guy, every branding guy or girl has read them. Confessions of an Advertising Man and Ogilvy on Advertising. Absolutely masterpieces. These rules, these commandments, come directly from his mouth. They're going to absolutely love them. So the first commandment, what you say is more important than how you actually say it. I believe it was 2016, 2017, and Pepsi wanted to really cash in on all the social justice stuff going on today that really ushered in a lot of the movements we see going on today, whether you agree with them or not. And Pepsi, like any great corporate giant, thought, how do we cash in? How do we leverage what's going on right now? So they brought in Kendall Jenner and they ran an ad. I forget the name of the campaign, but it was a lot of social justice stuff. Kendall Jenner going to protest lines and protesting for a better way of life and so on and so forth. And the problem is there was no message. It was just kind of throwing a bunch of social justice themes that were going on at the time with no great message. Moreover, it just seemed like Pepsi was trying to sell stuff and not actually interested in the social justice stuff that was going on. Whether you agree with them or not, it makes no difference. The point is, they weren't really saying anything. They were saying it in a special kind of way, surrounding themselves, wrapping themselves in this movement that seemed to be getting a lot of traction with millions of young people. And as we know with the Spice Girls campaigns in the 90s, Generation Next, Pepsi loved differentiating themselves from Coca-Cola by targeting the youth. The problem was the way that Pepsi tried to leverage all this stuff and say something, but they were really saying nothing. The second commandment of advertising is your ad campaign needs one big idea or else it'll fail. Right away when I sat down to make this video, what came to mind was Sony's, I believe it was Make Believe campaign, 2009, 2010. And these ads were a real doozy. Horrible failure for Sony. Really interesting to study from a marketing perspective. You can check out the YouTube video of some of these ads, and they're exactly what I'm going to tell you. It was basically just kind of kids floating around with their various products, obviously trying to show something like all of our products have technological prowess and how great they are, but it didn't seem to really have a message. There was nothing that 10 people could come away from that ad and have the same response with regard to what it was about. It didn't seem to be about anything. Now, ads don't even have to talk about your product. That's what's funny about advertising. For example, Apple's 1984 campaign. Everybody remembers that one. I believe it was during the Super Bowl. And an Olympic runner comes in with a big hammer and a huge studio of people sitting down and kind of being brainwashed by this screen by Big Brother. And the Olympic runner throws the hammer through the screen, breaks it. And the ad really symbolized liberation, freedom, autonomy from IBM at the time, right? They didn't say that, but you could feel it. And so that's the point. The ads have to have one big message people get instantly. It doesn't even have to be about your product, your service, and not even the benefits necessarily. But Sony's Make Believe ad campaign, check that one out to see what I mean. Come away and really tell me what you think that campaign was really about. So the third commandment of advertising is use facts if possible. You know, in this day and age especially, all too many people put things like great customer service, great quality control, amazing service, you know, all these words that seemingly mean nothing. But when you use actual facts, when you can talk about facts in your advertising, it goes a long way. I believe it was RX Bar, it was like a health bar company or something like that, and they were struggling. I don't know if they were on the brink of bankruptcy, but they were struggling really hard, really bad to keep up with their competition. So they wanted to kind of rebrand a little bit, mix things up. So they could have put quality ingredients and all these other wonderful things on the actual product, but what they decided to do was put the actual ingredients. So you're probably looking at the product right now, and it said something like egg whites, almonds, dates, no BS, and I believe another ingredient, I can't remember what at the time. And that was the point. They didn't put quality ingredients, fresh ingredients, or any of that mumbo jumbo. They got right to the heart. They got right to the facts of what was in their product. And in 2017, I believe it was 2017, they sold the company for somewhat of like $500 or $600 million to Kellogg's. And true success. What a great story. Just because I believe one of the key ingredients were the ingredients they were showing on the actual wrapper. They were using facts in their advertising, and that's commandment number 3. The next commandment of advertising is you cannot bore people into buying what you're selling. I love this one so much. I've been guilty of it. I'm sure we've all been guilty of it. You get that one ad, those few ads, and they're successfully getting new customers, so you just keep pounding away, not mixing it up, not really changing anything, and little by little the results tend to ebb and flow, sometimes go down, you reach diminishing returns, and you still keep pounding away. Well, when an ad stops pulling, you stop running it. You start running something else. Mix it up, give something away, do something interesting. I remember when I was a young man in New Jersey, I was working in a marina, and the owner of the marina, Mike, great guy, still alive, retired in Florida, great guy. He had a really great idea. He had a boat, he knew a lot about navigation, all this other stuff. And so what he did was put on a free workshop at his marina where he did boat repairs, he did winterization, all this stuff, and he paid me to dress up like the name of the company, Barnacle Bill's. It's still there, I believe, in Delmont, New Jersey. So I dressed up like Barnacle Bill with the hook and the hat and everything. And he sent invitations out to all of his customers, all the people he wanted as customers to come in and get this free workshop on preventative care and maintenance on your boat, on navigation, and all this other stuff. They came in droves, dozens of people. They bought a lot of stuff. Huge campaign, huge success. He mixed it up. He kept it interesting. So the point is this: if you've got that one ad and it's kind of teetering and it's kind of going low, mix it up with something else. Do seminars, give away your free course. Do videos like this, who cares? But do something, anything, because you cannot bore people into buying what you're selling. The 5th commandment of advertising is don't be a clown. Now, this doesn't just mean clown like a goofball. We all like to have fun, right? This one means don't do stupid stuff. Now, right away when I sat down to do this video and I had to think about these different case studies, I thought about the CEO of LifeLock. Do you know where I'm going with this? I forget when, but not too long ago, he was so confident in his product, LifeLock, which basically protects your reputation, protects your sensitive information from getting hacked, from getting leaked, and they take proactive measures if something like that happens, right? So he was so confident in his product that he put a social security number on their advertising. Now, not necessarily a clown, but definitely a fool, definitely stupid. What the hell was he thinking? I don't care who you are, you don't give people a key to your house. I'm 6'3". I can do 500 push-ups. I went to combat and waxed fools in Afghanistan. I used to be a bouncer, and that's how I paid my way through college. I'm not going to West Philadelphia and picking a fight. But this guy, this CEO of Lifeline, successful guy, smart guy, wanted to take some chances, take some risks, nothing wrong with that. Gave away a social security number, I believe over a dozen people, hacked it, opened up loans and credit lines and all this stuff with it. At the end of the day, he came away looking foolish. At the end of the day, the ad campaign hurt their reputation more than it helped them. The 6th commandment of advertising is be as modern and contemporary as possible. Some companies get away with nostalgia. Nostalgia works, sometimes, very rarely. Pepperidge Farm, companies like that, even Coca-Cola, right? However, for the most part, people want to see what's modern, what's new. So you cannot get away with older fonts, older language, older pictures, things like that. It should always be modern. Moreover, it should always be contemporary as possible. That's what makes people feel good. That's what looks good in advertising. But for the most part, if you're one of those rare companies that can kind of leverage nostalgia, and it's very rare, and I'm not saying you can never get away with it, but if that's not your strategy, never go nostalgic, always go new, as modern and as contemporary as possible with your fonts, with your images, with your entire ad campaigns. So the next commandment of advertising is committees cannot write ads. I had to Google this one because I really had a hard time finding a company that did this. So what I found was Chevy ran an ad campaign called Chevy Runs Deep, and it failed horribly. What they tried to do was kind of connect with the deep roots of the Chevy driver. It was all over the place. It was a big muddled nightmare. But the problem was, what I found out was because all the corporate heads, everybody tried to get their fingers and paws in on this ad campaign, and little by little kept getting massaged and adjusted until everybody was happy with it, everybody signed off on it, and the whole campaign was just gobbledygook of nothing. So let me be clear, committees cannot write ads. We're guilty of this too. But what I like to do at my company, I have one copywriter for the entire campaign. That copywriter's in charge. Sure, they're coordinating with design and editing and all that great stuff. But one person, one ad, one campaign. That's the best way to do it. And that really goes for everything. You need one big leader. You need one big alpha to lead the pack. You can't have multiple people. It just doesn't work. You need that head. So when, we see this all the time with law firms because they have these huge boards, managing partners, all these people, and it can take months to get a campaign approved. And when it's finally approved, we're looking at the campaign with all the people with their fingers and toes and teeth involved in the decision making, and now we see what was created, and it's like a four-headed monster. And not law firms, they're not the only ones, but it's like, yeah, we're done serving these people. we just can't do it. It's got to be one copywriter or one strategist writing the thing, coordinating with everybody, one big idea, one campaign, one person. That's the best way to write an ad. Ogilvy knew it, and now you know it too. The 8th commandment of advertising is keep using ads until they stop pulling. And that is until they stop pulling consistent and predictable revenue and growth. Now this is an easy one. All you have to do is think back to Little Caesars and their classic ad, their classic tagline, their classic slogan they invented way back in the 1970s. And that is, you know it, I know it, everybody knows it. Pizza, pizza. Doesn't that just sound delicious? Doesn't that just make you hungry? Makes me want to order a pizza right now. I'll tell you what, that tagline, slogan, ad, whatever you want to call it, became synonymous with Friday night and friends and family and a good time and some darn good pizza. It was 2 pizzas for the price of one, and it catapulted them from the 70s to bottom of the barrel to the number 2 market position in the very competitive pizza industry, with Pizza Hut on top and Domino's and their 30-minute delivery or the pizza's free at number 3. And then something horrible happened. And my mentor warned me about this the other day. And that is, success can breed boredom. Success, when you're doing the same thing all the time and it's working and you're getting more and more successful and you're right on the heels of the market leader, you can get bored, as strange as that sounds. And that's what happens. The C-suite executives over there at Little Caesars fired their advertising agency, moved to a new one that convinced them to replace the slogan, the ad, the tagline. And what happened? They moved from number 2 to number 4. Now, when they finally did all this damage and they realized how horrible of a situation this was, how bad of a marketing flop they corrected it. They went back to pizza. Too little, too late. Today, they occupy, if I'm not mistaken, you can fact check me, the number 3 position in pizza. Now remember, David Ogilvy was running his advertising agency, writing his books, running his campaigns back in the 60s and 70s. It was long before we had the luxury of running A and B split testing with digital advertising. Now when a politician comes to us and they want to run millions of direct mailers all over the state, all over the country, we can quickly run advertising and surveys to instantly get great market research and the best headlines, the best issues that are important to people, the best body text, the best calls to action, the best images, so on and so forth. So the point is this: while it's true, use ads until they stop pulling, that hasn't changed. A modern update, I would say, test new ads against the existing ones that are pulling. You get a great benefit to that because at all times you're constantly testing. Like I always tell our clients, you got that winning racehorse, but you want to keep racing it against other horses constantly, all the time, nonstop, all day, every day. The 9th commandment of advertising is never create an ad you wouldn't want your family to see. For this one, look no further than GoDaddy's marketing flop. It was a Super Bowl ad, and it featured a woman looking for her lost pup. Horrible situation, right? Really pulled your heartstrings and got your attention. Come to find out, by the end of the ad, she gets the dog back and immediately sells it using a GoDaddy website. Not tactful, not classy, not something you want to show to your kids. It just came off the wrong way. And as a result, it attracted a lot of scathing reviews, a lot of negative attention from PETA and all the puppy special interest groups, and just normal everyday people didn't like it. It wasn't cool, it wasn't funny, and it wasn't good advertising. So at the end of the day, never write an ad you wouldn't want your family to see. Now, Ogilvy, in his books, he usually had top 10 laws of branding, top 10 laws of this and that, headlines, body content, but for advertising, with really only 9 rules, which today we made commandments. So today we're going to create that final rule for Ogilvy in his honor, and I believe it would be, with my humble opinion, authenticity is key. Listen, I know a lot of you guys and gals are running new companies, and you're intimidated by the big boys, the Goliaths, right? Who have on the side of their truck, on the side of their building, on the front of their website, established in 1492, founded when Columbus discovered America, and it's intimidating. But listen, not everybody wants to do business with a company that's been around forever. A lot of people believe, perceptually, again, marketing is about perception, not reality, that these companies have inflated costs, inflated skills, and so they're looking to do business with newer companies. So the point is this: authenticity is key. There's a place in the market for almost everybody. So whatever makes you good, let that shine. Let that unique quality, that unique experience, unique skill set, unique location, unique tools, unique equipment, whatever it is, let that shine. You know, it reminds me a lot of a client I've had for about 6 or 7 years now. He's a music teacher, and when he came to me, he said, "Maverick, I got a big problem. I've got a competitor who teaches every type of music instruction, every type of instrument, to every type of person with multiple locations. What do I do about this?" And I said, it's very simple. What did Bruce Lee teach us? Bruce Lee taught us that you can use the center of one's mass, of one's gravity, against them. They're trying to be everything to everyone. You be one thing to one group. That's it, and nothing more. So what did we do? We went all in on kids. We did everything we could to attract kids. That sounds horrible. The point is this: we're really targeting parents who wanted to get their kids into music lessons. So now, instead of competing against this competitor, we didn't think about them anymore. We only thought about competing against the Cub Scouts, sports leagues, karate studios, swimming lessons, tutoring. We wanted to show that learning an instrument would be more beneficial to a kid than anything else. And what we did was use the 10 Commandments of advertising. Number 1, what we said was more important than how we said it. What we said was music lessons are superior for your child's well-adjustment, for their adjustment into society because of XYZ. We gave the numbers, we gave the facts. And number 2, we used a big idea in the advertising, and the big idea was simple. Music lessons will be great for your kids. Learning an instrument is great for your kids. Number 3, we used facts. We laid out the facts. We laid out numbers. We showed actual statistics of kids that were introduced to music lessons early on and how that impacted them later in life. Higher graduation rates, higher getting into college, better careers, better families, better adjustment. Number 4, we didn't try to bore them into advertising. We made the advertisings fun. We put on free workshops. We gave away free e-courses. For example, for drumming, I was a self-taught drummer. I always thought you had to kind of punch through the instrument. I never realized the whole idea is to catch the rebound, to hit the drum in a way so that it pulls back up. It pulls you back up so you can hit it again. And the 4th thing is, we weren't a clown in the advertising. We were sincere. We were honest. We were authentic. We talked about our approach. So we did a lot of research. And what we realized was the number 1 word people wanted to hear with regard to people teaching their kids was patience. They wanted to make sure the person dealing with their kid was patient. So we splattered that all over the place, showcased the fact that all of our instructors had no criminal backgrounds, no Megan's Law or anything crazy like that. Our competition wasn't doing that, but we went all in on kids. We did everything we could to get kids to come to, God, this sounds so horrible. I'm going to get banned on social media. But the bottom line is, because we went all in on this niche, the competition wasn't. So when you go here, it's like, oh, adults, senior citizens here. It's like, I don't care. I want somebody just for my kids. And because of that, little by little, our client opened a second shop, a third shop, had to hire more people, and eventually started teaching every kind of instrument. Every single time he came to us and said, new instructor, new instrument, we had to build new pages, new plot. It was so exciting. It was like, this is working. And he kept increasing his marketing budget, which I love. And the sixth thing, sixth commandment, is the ads were modern and contemporary. And they made people feel comfortable. They made people feel like they were snappy and cool and fun. I've always said, the cooler candidate wins the election. Almost always. No matter what you feel or what you think about specific candidates, usually whenever one is cooler than the other one, for example, Clinton, Bush kind of checking his watch during the debates, Clinton playing the saxophone, right? Whereas John Kerry, I believe he went on Letterman. John Kerry was a big dork, right? He was. We all know that. But he was inauthentic because he went on Dave Letterman and tried to ride a Harley. We just didn't buy it. He was inauthentic. And again, authenticity is key. The next thing we did is we didn't let a bunch of people write the ads. Instead, one copywriter coordinating the entire thing, writing the ads exactly how they needed to be with very little input. Very little input. At the end of the day, like we tell our clients, it's got to be the copywriter wants it. And if you give the copywriter suggestions, recommendations, that's fine. They're not always 100% right. But if they feel as though they are, because of their skill set, experience, so on and so forth, they're going to push back because they know it takes one person to create one great ad, not a committee. The other thing is we ran ads until they stopped pulling. We kept pushing them and pushing them and pushing them until they stopped pulling. Once they became boring and the click-through rates and the return on investment came down, we replaced them. I gotta tell you, it was a lot of fun making this video today. I love digging back into my memories about reading David Ogilvy's work, specifically Ogilvy on Advertising. I highly recommend you get that book. All the fundamentals are there. Confessions of an Advertising Man is more anecdotal, more of a narrative, but Ogilvy on Advertising gets down to the nitty-gritty, the fundamentals, the great stuff like what we went over today. It digs in deep into his work with prominent companies like Dove Soap and Rolls-Royce, and great ads in there, great experiences, and great marketing. So I'm Maverick, the marketing consultant, your marketing consultant. I hope you enjoyed your Father's Day, and if you enjoyed this video, I hope to see you here back next week. Take care. Bye-bye.